The Kavalik's observation post hummed with the nervous energy of first contact protocols. Ambassador Threlkin watched through the reinforced viewport as the human xenobiologist, Dr. Lyra Vaughn, stepped onto the frost-covered plains of Kavalik's prime. His secondary hearts fluttered with concern. She refuses the escort again. His aide chittered, mandibles clicking with disapproval. Threlkon's crystalline eyes tracked the human's small frame as she approached the den site. Humans were an enigma. Soft-skinned, persistence hunters from a death world, yet they smiled at danger. The Galactic Council had warned that humans bonded inappropriately with anything possessing forward-facing eyes. Dr. Vaughn had requested permission to study the Kavalik's young in their natural habitat. The Council had denied it 3 times. Kavalik's cubs were apex predators, even in infancy. Their parents, the hulking Kavalik's adults, stood 3 meters tall with serrated claws that could shred starship hull plating. Yet here she was, authorized by some bureaucratic oversight Threlkon was still investigating. "Should we activate the extraction team?" his aide asked. "Not yet," Threlkon murmured, though his claws hovered over the emergency beacon. Dr. Lyra Vaughn had learned long ago that fear was a choice. She'd studied wolf pups in Yellowstone, played with lion cubs in the Serengeti, and once bottle-fed a polar bear cub in Churchill. The Kavalik's cubs were fundamentally the same. Young predators testing boundaries, learning social hierarchies through play. She'd left her boots outside the den entrance, a deliberate gesture. On Earth, removing shoes showed respect and non-aggression. She hoped the principle translated across the stars. The first cub emerged, all midnight fur and luminescent stripes, eyes like twin moons. It was the size of a full-grown tiger, but it moved with the clumsy enthusiasm of youth. Behind it, 2 more cubs tumbled out, chittering in their subsonic language. Lyra sat on the frozen ground, making herself small and non-threatening. She'd memorized the Kavalik's greeting gesture, a slow sweep of open palms, showing weaponless hands. The largest cub approached, nostrils flaring as it processed her scent. Sweat, recycled air from the station, the faint traces of Earth's atmosphere still clinging to her clothes. It bumped its massive head against her shoulder, nearly knocking her over. She laughed, the sound startling the cubs momentarily before their curiosity overrode caution. Then the smallest cub noticed her boots. "Ambassador, she's been in there." "For 47 minutes, the aide reported, voice pitched high with stress. Threlkin watched as the cubs played with Dr. Vaughn like she was one of their own. They pounced, carefully, he noted with surprise, and she rolled with them, her laughter transmitted clearly through the audio feed. "This is unprecedented," he whispered. "The cubs should have attacked by now. Their hunting instincts. Sir, something's happening." On screen, the cubs had discovered the boots. What followed was a game Threlkin recognized from his own youth, the juvenile practice of theft and retrieval, teaching future pack hunters about resource acquisition. The 3 cubs grabbed the boots and scattered, dragging them behind frost-covered boulders into the den under pile of shed winter fur. Dr. Vaughn stood, hands on her hips, looking around with exaggerated confusion. "She's in danger," the aide insisted. "Without proper footwear in this temperature—" "Wait," Threlkon said because he was beginning to understand. Lyra channeled every ounce of theatrical training from her high school drama elective. She stomped her socked foot on the frozen ground, wincing at the genuine cold. She crossed her arms and made her face stern, the universal expression of parental disappointment that transcended species. She didn't yell. Shouting meant fear, and fear invited predation. Instead, she sighed, long, disappointed, wounded. The cubs froze. The largest one, the boldest, emerged first from behind its boulder. It dragged one boot delicately in its jaws, head lowered, ears flat. It approached with the guilty shuffle of a child caught raiding the cookie jar. Lyra's stern expression didn't crack. She pointed to the ground in front of her feet. The cub dropped the boot and retreated. 30 seconds later, the second cub appeared with boot number 2, following its sibling's example. Then the smallest cub came, empty-mouthed, but chirping, apologetically. rubbing against her leg in what she recognized as a submissive, affection-seeking gesture. Lyra's face softened. She knelt and scratched behind the small one's ear equivalent, making the soothing sounds that worked on every young creature she'd ever met. The cub's purr rattled her rib cage. She put her boots back on, pulled protein bars from her pocket, and broke them into pieces. The cubs took the offerings gently, their retractable claws carefully sheathed. Impossible, Threlkin breathed. She's established pack hierarchy. The cubs have accepted her as dominant. His aide's mandibles hung open. But she has no claws, no fangs, no natural defenses. That's exactly why humans are terrifying, Threlkin interrupted, understanding crystallizing. They don't need them. They understand the psychology of predation better than we do, because they were both predator and prey on their world. They learned to read intention, to project authority without violence. On screen, Dr. Vaughn was leaving the den site, waving goodbye to 3 cubs who watched her with something approaching adoration. Threlkin began composing his report to the Galactic Council. The title wrote itself, regarding human pack bonding capabilities and recommended revisions to xenocultural contact protocols. In the footnotes, he would add a personal observation. Humans didn't conquer through strength. They conquered through the terrifying ability to make even apex predators want their approval. And perhaps, he thought as Dr. Lyra Vaughn disappeared into the transport shuttle, that was the most human thing of all.